Howdy ho, everybody. Welcome back to the best podcast in the world. That's not even an opinion, that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. How I'm here with the usual Josiah and JP. Josiah, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mark. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? No, what do you mean, dude? That's the joke, JP. You just ruined it. So JP's newest goal, I heard, is to be funnier, to understand jokes a little better. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Understanding
JP.
social cues.
I'm just kidding,
It's a
JP.
little
How
awkward.
are you, JP?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to hear that both of you are doing well.
I'm good. How are you?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So what we have in store for this episode is, what do we got? We got songs of the week we're doing
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
Mr. Josiah decided he wanted to. So
It was last minute.
was. Then we have
It was a good audible though.
It was. We have our goals update per usual, and then we're gonna go into how social media affects individuals and society. So
Mhm,
that's that.
Very lit.
Yeah. Who would like to go
All
ahead
right.
and start with the song of the week?
I will because I have two songs that I quite
Oh
enjoy.
my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Song of the week, not songs of
Okay,
the
we'll
week.
do.
Okay, I'll save one for next week then, or whatever. Fine. One song that I've been vibing heavily to is "Yam Yam" by No Vacation.
Okay. Very cool. I'm so glad to hear that you were vibing to a song, JP.
Thanks for being glad. Mark, what's your favorite song of the week?
Well, it's not my favorite song of the week, but
Oh,
it's
it's
my
just the song you
it's
picked
my
for the song of
song
the week.
exactly. It's
Gotcha.
Ballin' by 637 Godwin.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's like just kidding, it's good. I enjoy
Just
it.
like,
It's just like
Gotcha.
Josiah, Mr.
very good.
Song of the Week. What's your song of the week?
My song of the week is "Lucy" by Jaden. It's just been stuck in my head a lot. It's a really good song. It's super catchy. It has like a little skit in the beginning, which I kind of like in songs.
That's beast
So, yeah.
mode.
It's very
Love
cool.
to hear it, man. Love to hear it.
Not Jaden Smith. It's Jaden.
Jaden. All right.
Gotcha.
Shall we head into our goals?
Yeah.
All
We
right.
shall.
JP, you started, so I guess I can start with my goals. You started your
Okay.
with a song. So let's see. Let's get in the goals document here. So we'll start with my book. My book I've been reading, but I've been slacking. Like I could be reading more. Like there's been times when I've been on my phone watching YouTube or something when I should be, like I could be reading.
Yeah.
So that's I just got to work on that slowly but surely. Gym. It was good.
Yep.
I started running at the park.
Ooh.
That's needed.
How much you running at the park?
What?
How much have you been running at the park?
I
Miles-wise,
ran.
or-
Well, okay, so I only ran like a mile and a half Friday, and then the weekend hit. And you think I'm gonna run on the weekend? No. So
No.
I'm running tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna try to run every morning. Keep that part of my routine. So
Wow.
maybe
Gotta
not
be something else.
unless I go to the gym or go up to if like there's something else in my schedule, then I'll probably skip it. Like if I go to the gym that day, then I won't. Maybe I
Mhm.
will. You never know. So another goal for my month was get a part-time job, which I'm finalizing. Gonna be working at
Ooh.
DSW Shoe
Ooh.
Warehouse, getting some shoes.
Wait, what does DSW stand for?
I think it's Designer Shoe Warehouse. Let's find out.
It's not the shoe warehouse. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's Designer Shoe Warehouse. I'll talk to
Ah.
Mr. Warehouse. That's the last name of Mr. Designer Shoe Warehouse.
Ah.
I'll talk to him, and I'll be like, change your first name to Duh Shoe Warehouse. So
Gotcha. That'd be good.
Creativity.
Facts. My financial goals haven't been met because I don't have a job and I don't want to spend money that I won't be making. So,
Yeah.
so spiritual goals, I have been praying more, but I haven't really been reading the Bible as much as I would like.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. So that I got to work on as well. Maybe like
What in the? Have you read anything in the Bible yet?
not recently, no.
Gotcha.
So I might have
Yeah.
need some help with that after the
Do you have
pod if you
something that
want.
you're thinking about reading?
No clue. No clue.
All right. Well, we can. You do you want any ideas like right now?
Sure. Or later, doesn't matter.
I mean, you can always start with the Gospels. So if you start with like Matthew, Mark, I mean, you might want to skip like the first chapter in Matthew because I think it's just genealogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of boring.
Okay.
And then if you
Yeah.
kind of want to skip until like when Jesus is like older and not like a little baby,
Yeah.
you do that as well, and just
Cool.
kind of like start at like Matthew like 5 or whatever it is, and
Cool.
Mhm.
just kind of like learning his teachings, and just start like read from there, and just read through the gospel, and then yeah.
I understand. We'll probably talk after and
That would
get that
be
written down. But
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, I haven't. So, diet. I haven't really been dieting. That's a problem. I think I'm eating less because I used to just like kind of eat, or like okay, so I'd have my 3 meals, but I'd have them like way too big. I think.
Gotcha.
So I'll probably I'm getting better at just like not eating as much, but I still need to eat healthier. I think. So
Yeah.
that's that. That's all I got.
Everyone can always eat healthy, you know.
Are you just
Exactly.
trying to like cut carbs?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right.
I don't really know yet. That's why I haven't because I haven't looked
Yeah.
into it yet. So
Because if you're
I
trying
think
to
they-
like
Yeah.
if you're trying to burn fat, then you should probably just like cut carbs.
mhm.
So it's not necessarily like you can't eat like bacon and like ice cream. It's more just like the carbs is what kind of like
Yeah,
burns instead of burning fat. So if
understand.
you just cut carbs, and yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
Josiah?
knowledge.
He's a genius.
Knowledge. All right,
Josiah,
Josiah.
yeah, you want to go
Yeah.
ahead?
So my goals, yeah. So I read my book already for this month, but I started another one, and I also have to read The Help for my 1101 class. So I'm reading The Help and Screw Tape Letters right now.
Fi.
So that's going pretty good. I haven't really read Screw Tape Letters much recently. I've more just been reading The Help because it's a grade.
That's
I have
true.
to. Yeah. For a job, I have recently like reached out to the Chick-fil-A I worked with in Swanee, and so I'm coming back to work there a couple weekends just because I don't really want to have a full-time job where I'm like going like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday every
Mhm.
week. Just kind of like a Friday, Saturday every once in a while kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just for now, and then maybe next semester I'll get like an official job, like down here.
Dope.
Yeah. Physically, and still been working out every day. I've kind of like peaked at like 160 pounds,
That's dope.
so that's pretty nice actually. But one thing that's been hard for me is just getting out of bed in the morning. If I'm being honest, because like I don't have classes in the mornings at all except
Yeah.
for Thursdays. Like I don't have class till 2, and so it's
Gotcha.
like, well, why not just lay in bed till like 11?
Is it you laying
so
in
hard
bed
to,
like being on your phone?
No, like I'll just lay there and then I'll just be like, I'm gonna go back to sleep,
Yeah.
and
What's-
then it's like I'm gonna go back to sleep again, and I literally
Yeah.
just
No,
lay
I
there.
feel that. Yeah. What time do you go to sleep?
I mean, it depends on the night. Like some nights, I've been trying to go to bed a little sleeper. Sorry, not sleeper, early.
Yeah, I feel.
It's hard sometimes because like
Mhm.
tonight I'll probably be up a little bit later because I want to knock out some schoolwork.
Yeah,
Just
me
because I
too.
work, I do my best work at night. Like
Mhm.
if I'm being honest, like from like 9 to 12, I cannot do any schoolwork at all. It's
In the
painful.
morning?
That's
Yeah, in the
interesting.
morning. But at night, like I can sit down and like grind it out. Like if I was working on
Yeah.
schoolwork right now, I could do so much of it.
I wonder if
'Cause
that's better for you to just sleep in a little later and then go to sleep
Yeah,
later.
I've been thinking about that
Because
honestly. Like if I
that might
just,
it might not seem like it's the right thing because you're waking up
Yeah.
at 11, but if you get more work done, if it's more efficient for you to sleep later, then
Yeah.
you might want.
I've been thinking like tonight I might just stay up to like 2
Hmm.
and just literally like knock out as much as I can.
Yeah.
Just to
Mhm.
start doing that because I remember somebody recommended to me like you got to find your time that you're most productive because like for him it was like 3 to 5 in the morning,
Jeez.
and so he
Oh
would
my
literally like
gosh.
when no one else was up, so he had no distractions. He would sit in his room and do all his work.
That's
then.
actually kind of true because my biggest distraction is Snapchat, so just talking to people while I'm doing my work.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be Instagram, but I obviously deleted that.
Yeah.
So if no one's on, no one's awake, then I don't have any. That's
Yeah.
true.
I think it's different for every person though, because I
Yeah.
just can't focus.
Yeah.
Like if it's 12 o'clock, it's like I want to go do something right
Yeah,
now.
that's
But if
very
it's like
true. Yeah.
9:30, it's like, all right, I gotta do my schoolwork.
Mhm.
Also, a lot of stuff is due at 12, so it's kind of like, all right, I'm kind of like motivated. I got the adrenaline going. It's like I haven't
Yeah.
started my essay and it's due in 3 hours. It's like, all right,
Oh. That's
that
crazy.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I feel.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You just gotta find what's
Yeah.
right for you, because it obviously,
Yeah.
if it's worse for you to, as far as school wise, if it's worse for you to wake up early, then
Yeah.
maybe don't want to.
But I went through and I cleaned my room,
Cool.
like a deep clean kind of. Like I made my
Mhm.
bed like super nice instead of like kind of making it.
Yeah.
So I did laundry this week, so it's kind of like doing those things where it's kind of
Yeah, I kind of do that.
pretty good on it.
I've been doing that like later in the week. Like as the week progresses, my room will get a little messier, and then I'll like Friday I'll just spend like 2 hours just cleaning my room.
Yeah,
Which might not be efficient, but whatever.
that's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're getting it clean. I
Yeah.
think that is kind of efficient though because you're getting it done eventually during
Yeah.
the week. So yeah,
Very
as long
true.
as you don't let it get too out of hand in the
Mhm.
end.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
JP?
I think those are my goals right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
What are you guys thinking about this road trip? Are you guys excited?
I am
know we haven't
excited.
really talked about it.
Yeah,
but
we do have to talk about it a
I'm
little
excited.
further, but I'm very excited, yeah.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
something. If we want to, we could think about a little more during the week. But
Yeah. Just like I was
just we have
telling
ideas.
I was telling JP,
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you, but I told my dad about it. My dad listened, he said, I like it. It's pretty good.
Let's go. We got
So-
a good review.
Dad, what's up,
It's
Dad?
pretty
How
good.
you doing? I'm good. How are you?
That's great.
It's awesome.
I'm good. How are you? Sorry, I was talking to my dad, guys. So yeah, so he said he liked the third episode, I think the best. So that was the road trip.
That's
Well,
good.
that was a fun episode.
That was fun. I
honestly.
enjoyed it.
I think we do need to do another episode where we go in and like get like specifics down.
Mhm.
But it would be fun. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I can't wait. Honestly.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be so much fun.
Oh, is it July 15th?
That's what we said, right?
Are
Mhm.
you guys?
I didn't even
haven't made
write
any
that
plans
down,
yet?
dude.
I wrote it down. I think.
Oh, I made
wrote it
plans. I'm busy that 2 weeks.
Dang.
Whatever.
Yeah, my mom scheduled me a doctor's appointment.
Honestly, though, like that would be the one time that like I had a doctor's appointment.
All right,
All
JP,
right.
go
I'm gonna
ahead.
Go with my goal real quick.
Go ahead.
So, also, I was gonna touch in on what I was saying about like the most time I'm productive. I think is in the mornings when my roommate Sam he sleeps pretty late and like just like stays up pretty late, and like I go to bed like earlier, at
Mhm.
least earlier than him. Like I go to bed at like 1 or 12,
Mhm.
you know. But I'll like wake up in the morning and then just be on my computer while he's like still sleeping and just
Yeah.
like grind out as much
Yeah.
work. So it's like the morning and it's like quiet, but there's like nothing to do because everyone here sleeps in so late
Yeah, it's very true.
because the way COVID's working with classes, like no one has to wake up for class. So it's
I do.
it's like everyone just like sleeps in. I mean, you do on certain days, but most days I would just probably sleep in because I go to
Mhm.
class 1
Mhm.
day a week now. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Anyways, all right. So as much, I'm reading my book, 12 Rules to Life from Jordan Peterson. I'm liking it. I'm about halfway through. I think I'm on the 7th rule.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm on the 7th rule.
Mhm.
As far as reaching out and connecting more with friendships that I think are important, I've been up on the Snapchats a little bit,
Hey.
talking to some friends in some other states and such. That I don't want to like lose contact with people and it just be
Mhm.
like awkward when we come back,
Yeah.
But
Very true.
and just been trying to keep up. Even play video games. Been playing a little bit Among Us with some people.
Hey, whoa, what? Just kidding. Go ahead. That
Together,
was.
but no one wants to play. It's so sad.
I know.
Anyway,
Whatever.
I've been doing that. As far as purity goes, I've been doing pretty good. I messed up like once. I think I talked about that last week. I don't even know when it was. I messed up like once, but other than that, I've been pretty pure in avoiding most, if not all, sexual impurities.
Five.
And I think that goes along with me deleting Twitter just because there's so much like bad stuff on Twitter that was like
Yeah.
triggering me or
Yeah.
whatever to like look at other bad stuff.
Mhm.
And as far as physical fitness goes, I
Big
have been
man.
going to at least twice a week. I went 3 times last week.
Big man.
Ooh.
Man, I know, right? 3 times. It was crazy. That's better than 0. Fun fact.
That's much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind
and,
of workouts are you doing?
workouts? What did we do, Marcus? I went with Marcus twice. I did
Yeah,
some
we
legs
did.
without them.
We did what? Arms and chest. Yeah, we did arms, chest, back,
And then
and
we did
shoulders.
back and shoulders the other day. Yeah.
That's great. That's what
I'll
I
be
like
up.
to hear, boy.
I'll be up there Tuesday.
Tuesday sounds good.
Yep.
It's a plan, Stan. Anyways, and as far as getting good grades goes, 96 on my math test. Hey, clap it up for you, boy. Let's go.
Oh,
It is the easiest math course I could be taking here, but hey, still got a good grade, so props to me. And I'm feeling confident in my grades. I'm like, this is the first time ever that I've been on top of like all my classes and like doing all my work, like double checking that I've done everything, like emailing professors and all that.
yeah.
That's beast.
High school, I could just breeze and like not try and still get A's.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And it's not like my classes I'm taking this semester are hard, but I feel like I've been putting in a little bit more extra effort and trying to do my best, which I'm happy with myself. I feel better for doing it. So
Fi.
that's
Good
my
stuff.
goals.
Good
knocked
stuff.
out.
That's great.
All right. Anything else about goals before we head into our topic?
I think next week we're gonna try and come up with some new goals.
Yeah, we're gonna do a readjustment.
Yep, for short-term goals, and I feel like that I've gotten into such a routine to where like I can just keep adding on to stuff, and it's not like I'm gonna have like 32 things I do every day or whatever by like the end of the year. But I think
Yeah.
obviously like things like me going to the gym is gonna stick, and I can like maybe put some more stuff in there to just focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just kind of like what I did. I just said physical wellness.
Yeah, true.
All right.
So it's not
So
just like
that's coming
working
next
out.
week for everyone that cares. So shall we dig in to social media?
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
So if you've been listening, keeping up with every episode, you might find that Josiah and actually all three of us, I didn't even think about that. All three of us have deleted a lot of our social media apps. Specifically Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's great. Quite honestly. That's how I feel about it. How do y'all feel about it?
Well, I feel like I see for social media for me, all throughout middle school and high school, I was like, no, not for me. I think it's stupid. And then I kind of
Big
just got on
brain.
Twitter for the news aspect. So Instagram, I was never really like, big on. And Snapchat, I was like, I just can text people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got Twitter because I was like, that's where all the political news is. That's where like all these little jabs that people have. That's where the president's tweeting. That's where Kanye's tweeting.
Kanye, yeah.
All the the funny stuff that you see that you want to be a part of that you can't get on other platforms such as Instagram. So I downloaded that, but I just spent way too much time on it. Like I would just be endlessly scrolling through the explore page and just clicking on what's trending when it didn't really matter. There was something interesting that I heard. Someone said that they had not had a TV since like 1985. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, I haven't had. I wasn't talking to him in a conversation. I was like, what? And they were explaining in this video, like, yeah, because I feel like all the news that I got, I could read in magazines. Because like, if it wasn't relevant enough to stay for more than like one day, then it wasn't news. And I was
Mhm.
like, huh. Like, if you read about something in a magazine, like it's going to be relevant for that like entire month or a couple weeks after they publish it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Very
But
true.
Very true.
just like the little mundane things that you hear on the news, it's kind of like, like, is that really important? Do you even remember half the stuff you hear on the news? It's kind of interesting. But I got off of Twitter because everyone there is it's just toxic. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I got
That's
off
why I got off.
Instagram specifically. I deleted TikTok because I didn't even go on it at all. But Instagram, I do the same thing. I just go to the explore page and refresh if there's nothing in my feed.
Mhm.
So I would just constantly be seeing pretty much the same stuff over and over again. But
Yeah.
so I was like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? So I deleted it, and I miss it sometimes, but that's when I have nothing to
Yeah.
do. Then I'm like, oh wait, I can actually do something. I can do schoolwork. I can read. I can work out. So
Mhm.
it's just a big time waster.
Yeah. For me, I just deleted Instagram because I follow like probably like 60 different just meme accounts, and I literally would just sit there and just like look at memes for like hours. And so it's not like it's even well, it's like for hours. It's kind of like maybe a little too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Have y'all tracked your screen time before and after you deleted them?
I
yeah,
have
my screen time went down a bunch, or
Mine,
like an hour and a half.
it went down an hour and a half. Mine went down from like 6 hours to like an hour and a half.
dang.
Like
Wow.
I'm
I
telling you, bro,
imagine
Instagram was not good.
dang. I imagine mine's probably down at least 2 hours that I was spending a day on Twitter just looking
Yeah.
through Twitter.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think my screen time is up a lot just because I am constantly on YouTube, and it's not like I'm watching videos, but a lot of times I'm listening to things on YouTube.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know.
It's also maps. Like if I leave maps open,
Yeah.
uh,
and it
Yeah.
jacks up my average a lot.
Mhm.
Because like if I drive to Macon, that's an hour there and an hour back.
Yeah. That's very true.
it's a while, yeah. Interesting stuff.
But-
So I wanted to get to the heart of like why I think Twitter is so toxic, because it's like it's such a crazy platform. Like I can't begin to comprehend. So when I was on Twitter, I really didn't follow that many people. I just looked back on my web browser. I still have it on my computer. I don't go on it as much. I probably spend about 5 minutes instead of 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Just because when I'm on my desktop, I'm like doing schoolwork or other things, and like it's really just not that much of a distraction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know why either.
Yeah, you'd think
Maybe
that's a bigger distraction than 5 minutes.
But honestly, like I haven't ever like went to go click on it. Like I have to like remember that I haven't checked Twitter in like a day, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder what's happening. And then like everything on my feed's like a day late, and I just don't really care to read it all.
Mhm.
Very true. Yeah.
But I was thinking about when I was on Twitter on my phone a whole bunch, and when I downloaded Twitter, I like wanted to start like tweeting out things and like maybe like gather like a base that like, you know, either whether it was me tweeting funny things or like my opinions or whatever. And then I soon realized that it was just not gonna be for me.
Yeah.
Because I would go, and I'm into politics a lot. I mean, my major hopefully next year is going to be political science if I get to go transfer to the University of Georgia.
Mhm.
And so I'm into politics a lot, and that's where the whole political scene is on Twitter. And I'd go under the comment replies and all that in Twitter, and it's just nothing helpful is being said, and it's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of opportunism going on with people. You know, there's this one guy that literally under every single one of the president's tweets, he'll tweet like something funny or like something mean about the president. Like he's there like after like 30 seconds after it's been posted, and then if you go to his profile, it's like the first thing that pops up is a pin tweet him selling stuff that like he sells online.
Mhm.
So
Just bots.
So yeah, he's just doing it for promotion.
he's doing it for promotion, which is smart because you go to the comments section and you have a huge following of 300,000 people that follow you because you say mean things about a certain person. And this goes for both sides, obviously. It's not just a political issue versus right versus left. Everyone like takes advantage of the way comment sections work, because the way Twitter, I guess, started out as, they didn't used to have so many characters that we have now. Like you could only say so many words, and they upped the character limit. But I think one of the reasons why Twitter is just this site of dunking on people or getting dunked on with just like things that don't make sense or like a snappy comeback or just bringing up, hey, you did this in your past and you're a bad person for it, is because of the character limit. And like
Yeah.
the character limit would limit you from having a long form conversation or making a long point. And also, it's kind of interesting, there's no dislike button on Twitter, so all you can see is likes and then comments and retweets. And if you're getting ratioed, that means no one's liking your post, but you're getting a lot of replies. It's like called being ratioed, right?
Yeah.
So the more you get ratioed, the more dislikes you get, it's actually like boosting your tweet. So even if you say something controversial, you get more views on it,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it's not a dislike. People can't tell instantly that, oh, like everyone dislikes what this guy's saying. it's basically just there's so many people commenting on it that it shows up on everyone else's feeds, and it just incentivizes bad behavior and negative comments and like hot takes and all this. It's just not great. There's not a whole lot of positivity on Twitter, just because whenever the positive comments do happen, they don't really get liked as much because there's no activism on a positive comment. But when someone says something you don't like, you want to tweet at them and be like, "Hey, I don't like what you said."
Yeah.
It's I don't know. That's my rant on Twitter and like why I think it's just such a terrible platform.
Mm-hmm.
Tis. So there's this documentary on Netflix. I mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it in the podcast, but I mentioned it to y'all. The social dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
Was the okay? Well, I want to go ahead and so you don't have to watch the whole thing. I want to bring up some points that are made on that. So the first one, let's see which one. I'll start with someone I forgot which one or who it was, but someone said that we like people are lab rats, being like test subjects for social media companies, but it's not for something positive like the cure for cancer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for something beneficial to us. It's only beneficial to the people, like to the scientists, I guess you could say. So
Gotcha.
that's one thing that's kind of scary. Another thing, we went from we would use our phones like before social media was a thing. We would use our phones for good things like going places, communicating with people, etc., whatever. And now it's all about social media, and social media itself is inherently bad because of the people running it. Um, so it's now they basically built social media off manipulation, and they said that we're now in a manipulated society, and we kind of rely on our phones rather than use them for good things. And then another thing, this is my last thing, is the fact that social media companies track like every single little thing. Like you hear that a lot, but people don't understand what that means. They see how much time you spend on a picture or a video on Instagram. They can tell when you're like in a certain mood, like when you're lonely, you're happy, you're sad, whatever. They know your schedule. Like they can know when you're on a break. Like let's say typical school schedule before COVID, you'd have lunch from 11 to 12. They would know that you're on lunch from 11 to 12. So let's say
Oh my
usually
god.
you're usually on your phone. Excuse me, on your phone from 11 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden one day you're not. They'll send you a notification that wants you to get on your phone. And it kind of gives an example in the thing. It's like some guy, for some reason, he's not on his phone. He's talking to his buddy on one of their breaks, and
Yeah.
they have like a visual, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but basically they have him as like a voodoo doll, and they have like people tracking every single move, but they can't tell what he's doing. They can just tell based off of like the algorithms on social media platforms. So it's like they're saying, why isn't he on his phone? This is the normal time he's on his phone. So they say, send him a notification. All of a sudden he's on his phone. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So they're basically these companies are competing with each other to get as much of your attention as they can, as much of your
Mm-hmm.
day as they can.
Because
Yeah.
attention is more eyes, and more eyes means more ad revenue.
Yep.
Very true.
Scary. Scary
Yeah.
stuff.
Something that what were you talking about? You were talking about how companies can one of your points was like companies kind of manipulate you.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. Shout out Joe Rogan. If you see a bump in his viewership, it's probably because you shouted him out there.
Facts.
Yeah, you're welcome, Joe. You're welcome. I was listening. Some guy was talking about how Facebook was experimenting with how people react to negative posts on the site.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is let's see. This is back in January of 2012, but they were experimenting with 600, almost 700,000 people's feeds on Facebook. And what they would do is they wouldn't change who you follow, but uh, let's say I'm following Mark and I'm following Josiah, and Mark posts something happy. and Josiah posts something sad, if they wanted me to see the sad thing, then they'd show me to Josiah's page, and they would put Mark's feed at the bottom, and they were trying to see how certain people reacted to a lot of negative posting. And what they found out is that the more negative post that people saw, like the more negative their post would be, and the more positive posts they saw, the more positive they'd be, and the more they'd like other people's posts.
Mm-hmm.
But what's scary is they didn't tell anyone they were doing this. Like, they just kind of just changed everyone's feeds, and we're kind of just using almost 700,000 people's feeds as lab rats, which seems kind of like like, oh, they're just trying to make their site better. Like, it's sketchy, but like what Facebook was like, oh, I don't know why everyone's upset. We're just trying to make our site better for everyone. But like, they intentionally showed people a bunch of negative content just to see how they would react.
Yeah.
And like, that's sketchy. Like,
That is
some professor joked, and he said, like, this is like such an interesting story. Hopefully, like, probably no one committed suicide. Like, oh my goodness, like, I didn't even think about when I first read this, like, what if someone's having like a really tough time, and then all they see is a bunch of negative stuff going on around them, and then they choose
It's
to hurt
definitely not gonna help them
or hurt other people? Like, obviously, Facebook is just trying to figure out how people view their site and how it affects people, but it's just the what's scary is not what Facebook did, but it's the amount of power that they have.
Exactly.
The amount of power that they have to manipulate how you feel is pretty insane. If you ask me.
You know what's kind of scary? In
What's kind of scary?
The Social Dilemma, they talked about how, like, some of the people that were there from the beginning, they talked about how they knew all the negative effects that would happen, but they still did it anyways. Like, they figured they were like, this is probably gonna end up bad, but we're gonna make a lot of money, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Another, I have two statistics. So in 2009, when social media was available on mobile phones, this is a stat regarding self-harm from girls ages 15 to 19 shot up 62% since 2009, and ages 10 to 14 shot up 189% since 2009.
Oh my! See, that's the thing that has really, I don't know if it's just I was a naive kid or like I was a lame kid, but all these like 8-year-olds that already are into the internet culture and like know so much more about whether it's politics or like whatever, like they're watching so much YouTube videos about whatever. They're on Instagram viewing other people, whatever. Like, they're already starting to, like, the internet has kind of fast tracked them into like teenagehood, or like kind of like the mentality to where, like, I don't even know, dude. It's just kind of shocking.
Well, I think they see these
are...
people that it's like, obviously they look perfect on social media, and they're only like 10 to 14 it says, and they kind of want to compare themselves to that, so they I don't know. It's scary. It also says that age 10 to 14, sorry, Josiah. It says age 10 to 14 suicide rates in girls goes up 150%. So
wow.
Go ahead.
That's
Josiah.
a lot.
It is. It's not good.
See, when you talk about depression rates, that's kind of hard to judge, just because in recent years it's been like easier, I guess, or at least it's perceived to be easier, kind of like what we talked about mental health, like to talk to someone, or like to say like, hey, I'm feeling sad, and like you don't get looked down upon in society, like people are like, oh, okay, like mental health awareness has been like going up. But suicide rates, I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I mean that's
set in stone, and it's hard to believe that isn't due mostly to what social media has done.
Well, if you think about it, if people are being like talking about their depression more openly, like they're gonna get it more resolved. So you would think that suicide rates would actually go down if people are talking about it more and trying to get help through it.
Well, the problem, and again, it shows it in this documentary. It's like some girl posts a picture on Instagram, and she's clearly like probably 10 to 14. Yeah. And she gets like 2 likes, and then she goes, deletes it, and then post another one, but it's like filtered, and she gets all these comments saying she's like gorgeous or whatever, and then she gets one bad comment, and that just like lurks in her mind.
Yeah.
So cyberbullying is a problem, but I mean,
A
how
huge
do
part
you?
of it.
Yeah.
I guess. What do you guys think? Like, I wasn't ever on Instagram, and I didn't really even post anything on Twitter, so I can't really relate with the whole like how many likes you get on a post and like how that makes me feel.
It feels good,
Like,
I guess. I mean,
did you guys like? So you guys use Instagram or used to post on Instagram or whatever. Whenever you'd post a pic and you'd get so many likes, did you like understand at the time like what was happening? You're just like, oh, it feels good, like even though it's like kind of weird. Like, did you ever like, because from like an early age, it always felt weird to me. Like, everyone was kind of just like buying into like the concept. I'm gonna post a picture and everyone's like gonna like it and it's gonna make me feel good. And like, you know, when you like someone's photo, it's gonna make them feel good.
yeah.
And then you're hoping to get that same response back. Like, you're hoping to post a pic and they like your pic too, or you're hoping
Yeah.
to follow someone just so they follow you back too, just so you get more likes.
Mhm.
Like, you don't care. A lot of the times, you don't care if someone actually sees what you're posting when you follow them back. It's the courteous thing to do, kind of. I feel like. Is that how that works?
I just like people's pictures. It doesn't. Personally,
like-
I don't care whose it is. I'll just like it.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, if it looks cool, I like it, or
Yeah,
if it's funny.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more in the female.
Yeah.
I like being sexy, but like I feel like it's more body image kind of things where it's like, oh, that girl's so pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or I think a lot of guys are more like, oh, I'm just gonna follow a bunch of meme accounts, and most of my feed is just memes,
Yeah.
like probably 90%.
Yeah.
So it's like I rarely actually see somebody's post, and so like when I'm scrolling through, if I see a post, like I'll stop and be like, oh, what's this person up to? Like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is
But,
though,
when
like,
I'm posting, it's more like I don't really care. Like,
yeah.
it's a cool picture I want people to see if I'm
Mhm.
gonna post something. It's not just gonna be like some random thing.
JP, you said it was like you found it weird that people were doing that, but
Mhm.
like I didn't find it weird because everyone was doing it. You know.
Yeah. See,
It was like,
when
I mean, it seems
Yeah.
fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like I'm doing cocaine, but
Yeah. But like, that's the thing with me. Like, when I was a kid, like, and I feel like everyone kind of has a side to this like them. But like, I'm the guy who like takes pride in being different, and like,
mhm.
I find myself to be cooler than everyone else if I'm doing something different.
No, you're kind of
it's kinda
weird,
like-
man.
Yeah,
Kind of weird. But like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
like
I
the edgy kid people that like, oh, like I'm so different and I like it because I'm different kind of deal. And I felt
Mhm.
that's what I kind of felt with the whole Instagram thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
he's just not like all the other boys.
True.
Facts, you're so different,
He's
JP.
different.
I wish I could find a guy
Uh,
like you, JP.
But
But
because now realizing what I do realize about Instagram, it just everything seems so fake.
mhm.
I think a lot of people now are realizing, like, I've heard a lot of rhetoric. I don't know whether it's because I've heard a lot of it in church or I've heard even some of it in YouTube videos or in podcasts I've listened to, because I've heard it a lot. And when people are talking about social media, it's the biggest thing they talk about is how every single person's Instagram feed is the highlight reel of their life,
Yeah,
and
that's very true.
everyone looks happy. So if you're not
Mhm.
happy and everyone else looks happy, it makes you even sadder.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
And
it's so edited too.
That's very true.
and also you can create resentment against people if they look happy and then you're over here sad. You won't like their picture, even like maybe if you like it, just because you're mad at the fact that they're happy and you're not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Or you don't have what they have.
Yeah. You know, it's just
They went on the trip you wanted to go on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
FOMO.
It's just I don't know. What would it look like if someone was just like posted like everything, not everything they did in the day. Like, let's say you post like twice a week, but like one of your posts is like, just ate this grilled cheese sandwich. It was pretty good. You know?
Bro,
Like,
JP, you remember
just,
my
like, didn't post the mountaintop pic or the bikini photo, but just like posted something completely utterly random.
you remember my old
That's what you should
Instagram
do,
that we looked
JP.
at?
Your old Instagram?
Yeah.
I do.
Dude, I posted a picture. It was just like just drank this Doctor no, it was like a root beer or something. I was like, it was so good. Why can't we just go back to that, dude? Why can't I just post
See,
whatever I want?
I thought about
JP,
going back on
set that up.
Instagram. Yeah, I thought about going back on Instagram and just like posting a random crap and
I might do that,
just-
dude. Start a movement. Let's do it.
just seeing how people would react. Like, cause I feel like there's a certain type of person that would just love the content because it'd be so ironic.
Because
Like,
it's so
me
quirky and
posting a
funny.
photo
Yeah.
of a half-eaten grilled cheese sandwich and being like, "Yo, I ate this today at like blank time, and then I'm off to class." Like, what?
Can we do that?
That
That
would
would actually be so funny.
I don't even. That would be kind of funny. I might just
JP,
get on Instagram just for that, because I honestly don't think I'd care too much what people thought about it. And if
Yeah,
they
I don't
asked me
think I
about it,
care anymore either.
I'd explain to them that I think the highlight reel thing's stupid.
and you think it's just funny?
I think it's funny. See, like, there's nothing bad about the highlight reel thing. I think, like posting your moments that you want to share with people in your life is good, but I think where it gets in the dangerous territory is the edited pics
Yeah.
and like the girls posting bikini photos and all that, and just like
And guys,
I don't like and guys like posting. See,
bikini
like
pictures.
even like for a
Yeah,
flex,
guys in those bikinis.
like post a picture with all the boys, like on top of like Max Patch or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like a flex. Like I got friends, we're hanging out doing cool stuff.
Exactly.
It's
So don't
true.
post that.
But like, if you're a 45-year-old mother and like you just had your third kid and you post it
That's
for like all your other mom friends, that's
Yeah,
different.
that is
Like
different.
posting like where's the difference in posting like the highlights of your life to where it doesn't seem petty, because people want to know about your kid being born, but like
Yeah.
do people really want to know that you went to a mountain with all your bros and like the other people weren't invited? You
well,
know,
then
like,
think about this before you
That's true.
post something. Think, is it a flex or is it something actually important in my life? Like when I post a picture of Max Fetch, is it a flex? Yeah. So
I
I
think it's a
shouldn't post
flex,
it. I
yeah.
shouldn't post it.
It's definitely a flex.
Oh, 100%. Like, of course I enjoyed it, but do people care? No.
Mm-hmm.
If I
What
have a
do you-
kid, maybe I post it because it's a kid. It's not a flex. Well, maybe it is, but some people don't see that as a flex. Go ahead.
I was wondering, like, what if, like, we would, like, I've seen people post pictures of maybe an accomplishment like a championship. And that's not so much of a flex as, like, really, like, showing off something that made you so happy in your
Yeah.
life that, like, you just got to share it with someone. And it's
Mhm.
not even, like, it's a flex, but, like, I understand that.
Yeah, me too.
It's-
Yeah, I get that.
It's a little different. But
Mhm.
kind of even like the small wins in life to where I don't know, like let's say, like I just found like this new group of like awesome friends at like this college, or like how about like I've seen people post about like getting baptized, but like you don't see the post, but like, oh, we had like such a great small group tonight, and like post a picture of like your small group at church or something like that. Like, what if I did that instead of posting like the picture of the baptism or like the mountaintop? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. How do you think people would react? Like,
I
how
don't
would
know.
how would you guys react? How would you react if like you didn't know me?
I think I'd just like it and be like sick, and then move
Or
on.
if I didn't know you, I don't think I would.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, like I don't think
You
I would
wouldn't
follow
care.
you.
Yeah, you wouldn't care.
exactly.
Yeah. See, that's what I've. But do you care about the other posts of like the mountaintops that people follow? Because like you kind of want to see that. Like you want to see like the cool things people are doing, but at the same time, it's like a flex. I don't even.
It's so weird. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Honestly,
just.
most people, I just follow them like because they followed me. I don't want it to be like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm not following you. Like it's disrespectful almost. Like some people can get mad over that. Like honestly, I don't care, but some people could get pretty mad if you don't follow them back.
Yeah,
That's
you
crazy.
don't want to give off the impression that you're mean to people. That's
crazy,
the vibe
man.
that I give off to people because I don't care, and then I'm like I've started to realize that people get offended, and I should care that people get offended even if I don't care about what they're thinking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In a sense,
Yeah, that
I
makes
don't know.
perfect sense.
Anyways, what are some of those others talking points that you were going over, Mark, about the documentary?
That was pretty much it. I forgot to mention that, like, as far as the companies tracking everything, I forgot to mention that they're like slowly picking up all that data on you, and they're
Mhm.
using it to make your feed more and more attractive to you. So
Yeah.
the more and more you go on social media, the more addicted you become, and that's
Yeah.
them doing that. That has an effect on your brain with dopamine.
Yeah.
I could go into dopamine
Well,
if you guys want
any
me to.
addiction will do that to you.
Yeah.
I feel like we just live in an addictive society.
Yep. I have a whole thing on
Mhm.
dopamine we could go on. But I feel like
Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
okay.
Just like,
well,
just
okay.
like-
So dopamine. What is dopamine?
It's in your
Dopamine,
brain.
yeah, it's in your brain. It's neurotransmitters that mediate pleasure in the brain. So basically, anything you do that you find pleasure in, your brain sends off neurotransmitters that says, "Oh, I enjoy this." So the more and more you do it, you slowly become addicted to it because your brain keeps saying, "Give me more of this. Like I like this, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So dopamine is good so long as it's like filled with like fulfill your dopamine levels with good things like exercising, reading, like serving, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Or like working out. Yeah.
yeah. So that's a good thing, but then the problem is that's like let's say half as attractive as these negative things like well let's use the analogy like eating healthy versus eating unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more attractive to your brain to eat unhealthy, right? Than it is to eat healthy. So you're going to become addicted to eating unhealthy if you take in more unhealthy food. So as far as social media, um, you get like quick rewards, like liking posts, other people liking your posts, all for doing
Mm-hmm.
like pretty much nothing,
Yeah.
which triggers a dopamine response in your brain, and slowly, you'll eventually become addicted to it. So, and going into it, like Facebook knew about this, and they tried to set up algorithms that complemented the dopamine response in your brain, and it's kind of scary to think about. Like they knew
Yeah.
it was wrong what they were doing, and they still kind of.
Well, like what? I don't know if I would so say that it's wrong to. I mean, you can be educated to the point where you'd realize,
That's true.
you can have self-control. It's not like they're forcing you to do anything, and
Yeah.
making a platform to cater to someone. I mean, some people like it, obviously. Like some people are just fine with spending a lot of time on Facebook, and they
Mhm.
like that Facebook, you know, gives them more interesting things to look at for obvious
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
reasons.
Yeah.
But it's something interesting that you just said that I was like, I feel like that was like kind of what I was talking about when I said like people buy into this weird social contract or whatever earlier about Instagram. And what I was kind of getting at there is what you just said, where you said people get dopamine for basically nothing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of what I was getting at, is like all Instagram is
Is free rewards. I think you just
like
cut out.
what
Yeah.
it really
Makes
is
you
is
feel
like
good. Yeah.
it's like a whole bunch of nothing there though. And it's the social interactions on social media to where I think are good because it's not nothing. Like it's someone like an actual friend that you can
Yeah.
connect with. But it's
Mm-hmm.
it's the nothing relationships and like the meaningless likes.
Yeah.
That's where it's always been a gray area with me, where I just like didn't get into it,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of happy I didn't get into it.
Yeah. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, but it's kind of like think of drug addictions is basically it's such a you get such a positive feeling from it for doing pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Very similarly to social media, you get a positive response for doing pretty much
For doing
nothing,
that.
for
Yeah.
moving your
Well,
thumb up and down.
it's arguably like a lot. It could arguably get a lot worse in the future than even drug addiction, because there's obviously, for most drugs, there's obvious negative effects of drugs, but the negative effects, I mean, we're having to talk about and like try to grasp the negative effects of social media, because no one's really talking about them.
Yeah.
Because where would you learn about these
Mhm.
negative effects? On social media,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're
It's very
not,
true.
these companies aren't going to broadcast that there's a lot of negative effects, like those high suicide rates you're talking about, when people compare themselves to other people, and there's so much just negative thoughts that come with that. They're not going to broadcast that, and
Yeah.
like it's not clear to everyone that what you're doing could be wrong, because then there's like what I was talking about, the mom posting the pic of her cute newborn baby for grandma to look at when grandma lives in like Wisconsin or whatever, far away. That's the good part of
Yeah,
social
of
media,
course. That's
and
Yeah.
that's what everyone strives to get. But what a whole lot of people are getting is not the genuine social interactions, which is kind
yeah.
of the negative part of it, is what I feel like.
Yeah. It's crazy that social media companies have all the control over 95% of the information everyone gets. and
Phew.
that's the problem. Is that they're the ones. Well, I guess social media companies are the
They have that
problems,
power.
and they have the power. So it's bad,
Well,
very bad.
there's starting to be some talk about it
Yeah.
because have you guys heard the news about Section 230 recently?
No.
No.
Maybe.
Section 230 is a law that was passed to basically protect the rights of early internet forums, so they wouldn't be liable. Like it was like a really early, like late 90s maybe internet forum, and like a crime was committed on it, and basically it was protecting the person who owned the forum from not being liable for the crime, and it was, it's like basically protecting people so you could be talking and people would like create more social media platforms basically.
Hmm.
Because like, would you blame Twitter if someone like was inciting violence on their site? No, you'd blame the person talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to what happens is basically this enables companies like Facebook, like Twitter, these social media companies, this law, Section 230, lets them censor certain content. So once they start censoring the certain content, that's what you're talking about, is they control 95% of what we see. But once they start censoring content, then they're really controlling what we see,
Yeah.
So it's become political because certain ideas are being censored, and you can disagree or agree that whether they should be censored or whether they're good or bad topics, but they are being censored. And there's been some pushback from a lot of people, including President Trump, and that's why he tweeted out the other day, repeal Section 230, because basically what he wants is less censorship and more free speech on the platform.
Hmm.
So I don't know. There's being some that like the social media companies are starting to become held liable because what Facebook had to go through, and Mark Zuckerberg. You remember all the Mark Zuckerberg memes of him? He's like a
Yeah.
Oh
lizard.
yeah.
Is that what that was
Yeah,
about?
kind of.
Okay.
They were basic.
That's
It
what
was
I was
basically
thinking.
just a
Yeah.
bunch of old white senators questioning Mark Zuckerberg about things that they had no clue talking about because they're
Yeah.
old white guys. Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
That like listening to some of the questions that they ask him were pretty hard to listen to. Just like, and I don't know barely anything about social media, but I knew the basic questions that these old people like that don't understand it were asking.
Yeah.
Like there was like an 80-year-old man asking about, I don't even know. He was asking he was asking about like the like button or something, and it was just Mark Zuckerberg just like his face was like, I don't know, man. It was just something so silly.
That's funny.
And that's where it's going to change, just because once we start to get more of these young people and the people that understand how social media work into places of government, they're going to start holding these social media companies accountable for either manipulating people, not having their algorithms public, because that's one thing is the problem with maybe people not showing how their algorithms work is you're not letting your users know how you're manipulating them or how you're
Yeah.
getting the content to them. And wouldn't you like to know why they're giving you certain content? Because I would.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. It sounds like you guys would
Makes
too.
sense, yeah.
Oh, of course.
So the more that society matures with social media, because it's a pretty new concept,
Yeah.
the more there would be less hopefully there'd be less advantage taken, because Facebook, because of a lot of those hearings that they've had to adhere to, they've made a pretty firm stance on not censoring certain ideologies.
Yeah.
So Facebook's been doing a good job. Twitter not so much about
Yeah.
the free speech topic, and that's when it gets scary. Like imagine you might not have to imagine, but imagine like a world where all you can see is like happy things, or all you can see is negative things when you only go to a certain topic, and it's just some guy that has a certain ideology that's flicking the switch on and off.
Yeah.
It's where you go to like, I don't know, what's something that's kind of not controversial. Let's say this guy doesn't like mac and cheese,
That's.
and you're like, I don't know what mac and cheese is. You go to Twitter, or you go to Facebook or Instagram, and you go search up mac and cheese, and then because of the algorithms and what this guy's created, or what this company's created, and the company, their policies are influenced by people who have certain ideologies. you look up mac and cheese and the anti-mac and cheese company, there's a bunch of anti-propaganda of mac and
Yeah.
cheese. So I don't know. It's just crazy, man, how much power social media has over our lives.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can hold the companies responsible, because like you were saying, I don't think they're necessarily bad actors, Mark. Like you were saying, like they knew that like they were gonna mess with their dopamine
Yeah.
levels.
I
And
think they.
that's the sketchy part to me. But the sketchy part about them accidentally leaning one way or another politically, I think it's more accidental than
I
intentional.
think what they
And
said was like they had a feeling like this was gonna happen, but deep down they thought, or they were hoping that it wouldn't be the worst possible outcome, if that makes sense.
so they're just, like,
It
we're
was
gonna
kinda
make
like-
some money and we're gonna make sure people commit suicide as least amount as possible.
No, they were saying like, well, we see this as a possibility, but we're hoping it's not this.
Wow.
So good for them,
Yeah. I mean,
because they're not bad
it was
people.
such a
They're smart.
when they created
That's
it,
the
like
problem.
they who knew that the primary method of, President Trump getting his news out to the American people. I mean, no matter how much President Trump tweets silly things on Twitter, it is his main way of communicating to the American people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still, the president of the United States. He holds some power, and his Twitter holds some power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, did you expect that to be the main mode of communication when Facebook was created however many years ago? It's taken unexpected turns, and people are still trying to figure out how we should police or how we should navigate the way we go about things.
Yeah. So, if we're done with the whole bashing on social media, I'd like to talk about how we can like fix
Make it better.
Not
Yeah.
well, okay. Well, yes, but are you talking
In our
make it
personal
better?
lives.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah,
Detox.
because-
social media detox. That was my word.
All right, Mark, you go.
No, you go ahead. I was just wanted to say the word detox. I like that word.
That's a good word.
It's
SAT
good.
word?
No.
Detox?
I don't think
Nah,
it's SAT, but
it's not
big
that
brain.
advanced. It's a pretty big brain word, though. I'm not going to cap. Let's think. I think the best thing for me getting off Twitter was just reducing the amount of negative things that I see in a day. Because when I look around outside and it was something Jordan Peterson was saying that I was listening to earlier. Big Jordan Peterson guy over here, he was talking about, he's like, I've been to a lot of American cities. He was going on like a tour and going and making all these live shows. And he's like, I've been to all of your cities, and like I've been to all these cities and like walked around these parks. And when I look at social media, it paints a picture like it's a hellscape. And especially in 2020, that's what's happening. I mean, the most 2020 things that are, unexpected are just happening. Like we've just had back-to-back hurricanes and, like coronavirus, all the things happening. You look at Twitter, the world's on fire. But like, if you go outside and walk around, it's not that bad.
No, it's like a normal
It's not
day.
that
Yeah.
bad. It's just like a normal day.
Mhm.
And I mean, we're gifted in growing up in a good area. I mean, if we lived in downtown, Seattle or Chicago, it definitely look a bit different.
Yeah.
But
Very true.
we don't live there. So when we are seeing all these things about what's happening, whether it's in Chicago, New York, Washington D.C., Seattle, California, all those places, just getting off and not seeing any of that negative news about what's going on there, and like only listening to the important news, I feel like
Yeah.
has been good. Because I'll see the important news.
Yeah.
I don't have to be on Twitter 2 hours a day to see the important news.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Very
been
true.
good. That's been good. It's just getting all the negative thoughts and just taking the world for what I see it as, and not
Yeah.
what other people see it as.
I think one thing that could be we could test almost is having like a certain time period per day that we just don't even go on our phones at all, or maybe not even that, but like maybe every Sunday we just don't go on technology kind of thing. But obviously you can't do that alone. You'd have to do that with friends or family or something.
I
But
drove over to my uncle's house to see my cousin, who was they lived in China for a while, so I didn't get to see him
Ooh.
too much. And they're back now because of coronavirus. But I was
Sorry.
talking with them, and I left my phone, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of bad because my license was in my phone and I drove. But other than that, I accidentally left my phone at home. It's like, oh frick, I left my phone. Mom was like, you want to go back? I was like, no, I don't need my phone. And we were at my uncle's house for like a good 7 hours watching football, eating some good food, and not having my phone and like forcing myself to talk with like adults. Like talking with adults, like it can be boring or
Oh
it can
yeah.
be stressful, or it wasn't. Like when I was like forcing myself to like talk with my relatives, I was like, this is a great time.
Crazy
And
how
like
that works, isn't it?
I didn't have my phone to retreat to,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, because you had
Mm-hmm.
no distractions. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of times I would just retreat to my phone in social situations, because when I don't have anyone to talk to, or I'm feeling like anxious, like, oh, I don't know what to say, like, oh, a situation's awkward, just get on your phone.
Yeah.
Act like you're busy so people don't talk to you, so it's like
Ooh,
better.
JP, here's one. At the gym, or when
Uh-huh.
we go play basketball or spike ball, leave it in the car, kind of thing.
Phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like,
Or you could just turn it off just in case you need it.
well,
Like
if I need
Yeah,
it, I go run to my
what
car.
I might do is I might have music and I'll turn my Wi-Fi off and I just listen to offline music
Yeah.
and have Bluetooth on for my
Yeah.
AirPods and just like
Okay, but
only
think
have it
think
for
like
music.
basketball, because I'm thinking for my speaker, like if we go play basketball and we listen to music, someone else can play
Yeah,
music.
music's different. Yeah.
But at the gym, obviously,
Call it an iPod if we're just gonna use it for music, yeah, not a
Facts.
phone.
Let's go get iPods together.
Ooh. Get an
It would have
iPod
to be
Nano?
Yeah.
the
No, but
nanos. Yeah, it wouldn't be like a regular iPod.
um, yeah, I think that if we, leaving it in the car in times like that, so you're not
You know
like,
what's
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't need to go out and buy an AirPod. It wasn't really a good
An
point,
AirPod,
but I don't own an Air
An AirPod.
and what
iPod.
am I saying? iPod. There you go. I don't need to go out there and buy an iPod because my family owns a first generation iPod. You know how many songs that
Chill,
bad baby can fit on it? It's like 350 songs, man.
chill. That's crazy.
Chill, I know, right? We still got the cord to
Legendary.
download music, bro. Crazy.
That's kind of fresh.
350 songs.
But yeah,
Crazy,
so
bro.
I wrote stuff down and I didn't even realize I wrote this down. But on top of the leaving your phone in the car when you're doing stuff, put it in when you're doing work, sleeping or reading or something like that. Put it in another room. Um, see, plan ahead, like have a schedule. That's what I did. I think
hmm
Saturday. I wrote down a schedule that I want to follow if at
Mhm.
all possible every day. So go ahead and like plan ahead what you're gonna do in this certain time frame, and kind of force yourself or tell yourself that you have to get it done. Let's say you have to finish all your math work before 3, and it's like 2:30, and you still have stuff to do. You're like, okay, I can't go on my phone because I gotta finish this kind of
Yeah.
thing. So doing that. Obviously deleting your social media apps, detoxing with
Yeah.
a friend. We're doing it with each other. If you're
hmm
listening, detox with someone that's close with you that would also want to do
Yeah.
it. That's for accountability. Oh, one thing is get like a notebook or something and write down like the hours you spend each day on your phone and each app. So like not even you don't have to do it each day, but like weekly. Just write down your average time on your phone and then slowly watch it go down. And you'll see like visual progress and that'll help you
That's cool.
stay motivated. So,
I think one thing you can do that just to like help stay off your phone if that's like your goal,
mhm.
not charge it by your bed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most people they'll sit on their phone for 30, 40 minutes before they go to bed, or like right when they wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing they do is check their phone.
hmm
What I started doing is I just charge it on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna get on my phone, I have to get out of bed. I have to wake up. Like I'm not just gonna lay there.
Yeah. Smart.
My phone.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm watching a movie, instead of watching the movie while sitting on my phone, I'm actually watching the movie. Like I'm
Yeah.
investing into it instead of just like sitting there on my phone watching the movie.
Mhm. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Awesome.
Big brain.
Anything else? I'm kind of done. I made all my points I'd like to make.
I just wanted to close what I had to say, saying one thing. Obviously, like, it's gonna be hard to completely just get rid of social media for a
Yeah.
lot of people, and like even we haven't. Like, I still got Twitter like on my thing or whatever. Like, I'm still Snapchatting people, still got social media. But the best advice I think I could give to people is just being mindful while you're on social media. So like what that would as an example, like say on Twitter, just for a quick example, like someone says something mean, be mindful of like the other person on the other side. Like maybe they're having a bad day. You don't need to respond with something mean. Like what good does it do on Twitter to respond with some mean comment? You
Nothing.
know, it really doesn't do too much good because I have never seen anyone's mind be changed on Twitter. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you want to post positive stuff all day on Twitter, all for it. That's the one thing I wish I did do on Twitter is not posting at all. I felt like was kind of useless, but not posting positive things. You know,
Yeah.
like I didn't post because I didn't want to post anything negative, but I could have posted some positive things before, and I
Yeah.
didn't. So posting things that are positive, and I guess if you're on Instagram, just being very aware of why you're posting what you're posting.
Yeah.
Don't let
Yeah.
and also what you're looking at and how it makes you feel, you know? Like if you catch yourself saying something to someone out loud, like let's say like your friend sitting next to you, I'm like, hey, Josiah, like look at this person, like what they did, like how stupid is this? Like ask yourself like why you feel that way and like how that might be affecting you and should you feel that way, you know?
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
don't just aimlessly take in your feelings from social media and just not process the other person's thought process when they posted that, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think what a lot of times what it can be boiled down to is everyone on social media is just trying to get that quick dopamine hit,
Dopamine.
and
Sorry, I like
for
dopamine.
the people that don't, and like you want to have a real connection with someone, just say something positive, or you know,
Yeah.
just post something that you find interesting rather than what you think someone else might find more interesting. You know, like
Mhm.
cater to yourself, not to other people.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very true. Josiah, anything you'd like to add?
I think you guys got most of it, honestly. I think
Cool.
yeah, you guys really nailed it there, just in the summary.
I'd like to say we're at 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Whoa.
It's
So
pretty impressive.
I know. Good stuff, guys. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't close it off now because my mouse just fell.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. All right. I guess that'll end it, guys.
Yeah, we'll see
Great
you next
stuff.
week
Of
for
course.
episode 5. This has been episode 4 of the Eternal Everest podcast.